Oh. Scheiße. Okay. I just did a nice preamble without the camera. So now we do it with the camera, whatever the hell it's going to be. This is intended as a personal, immediate, rechtzeitig Antwort, answer to the modern mystic's answer and so forth. This kind of direct camera talking is not the accustomed manner for this one making videos, but off the cuff speaking. It's fun when there's another person, and maybe it's or appears to be another person. There's a interaction between whatever this is and whatever that is. This is also an interaction, but it's a peculiar interaction, as this talking head is talking to a reverse mirror image of itself and watching its lips move. Very interesting experience. This mouth loves to talk, and and this head loves to edit. Usually it likes to know in advance what it's going to say when there's no direct feedback, as in conversation between two talking heads, between the one without a head and the one with a head, and umgekehrt. Modern Mystic's comment. Hello P. I would not like to get stuck on leaving traces unless it is stressed that the where the trace remains for a time is no more important than the trace itself. Important. Was heißt important? In the last analysis, so to speak, nothing's important or more important than anything else. On the other hand, the nature of the organism is that much more potential information comes in than can be processed to the same degree. So potential information has to be filtered through the needs of the organism, the present needs of the organism, the expected future needs of the organism. In order of urgency for the organism, these are the important things that I can see. Number 1, avoiding destruction of the body. Number 2, avoiding damage to the body. Number 3, air. Number 4, warmth and water. It kind of depends on circumstances, of course. Number 5, food. Number 6, mate. Number 7, children. Number 8, grandchildren. Number 9, somewhere in there, relationships with the tribe or the neighbors or the whatever, as a function of protecting all of these needs and furthering them. A similar sequence of or a similar hierarchy, perhaps, sequence of importances seems to apply um, to the mental activity that appears to happen in human beings. Not just the body being not eaten, but the mind being not eaten, as it were. The ideas, the stories, the points of view, the self-concept, all concepts. There seems to be a drive to prevent the destruction of these things, especially, I guess, the self-concept, and to broadcast them, to have their grandchildren show up. I've used the phrase potential information quite deliberately, in the sense that Gregory Bateson defines information as a difference that makes a difference, which I find rather intriguing and demands some penetration to get there, you could say. But then it's quite obvious that the traces we're talking about are information, in that they alter the form of the system that they are traces in. So comparing the importance of traces and systems is like comparing the importance of information and information processors, comparing the importance of the physical machine on which a virtual machine operates, and builds data structures and incorporates data, a result of which is that the functioning of that system is altered. The functioning viewed in time is different from one moment to another moment, naturally anyway, because the actual inputs to that system, which are constant when it's awake anyway, are constantly different, as it were. They are constantly new. They are constantly what they are now. Constantly now. This is eternity. So even without the informing, the functioning of a data processing system like a human brain is never the same, because the inputs are never the same. Once the system has unfolded the ability to discriminate objects from background and discriminate events from now, then of course the events are put into stories. The events and objects, events being objects as it were, are strung like beads on a string and make up a story from here to there, from then to now, from then to later, from later to later still. Time sequences, importance sequences, stories. So of course there's no constant important thing named Paul that is more important than the informing that occurs, the traces. There's an apparent process in apparent time and space. In other words, a story. Such stories are parts of the self-concept that seems often to be naturally defended in a similar way to that in which the body is defended against threats, against injury. It seems as if the constellation of bodily organism needs transfers into the information processing realm of the upper part of that body, and that this drive to preserve and pass on information, the traces, the stories strung out of the traces by the processing system that is constantly altered in its functioning by the play of inputs and the informing traces that one could say constantly alter the functioning of the system. But particularly this apparent transference of need-fulfilling mechanisms tuned to the body into need-fulfilling mechanisms tuned to the mind, the content and functioning of the brain. The individual, well, nay, the networked brain, really. And it's that networking, that passing on what came up here to what informs other brains, is a fundamental pillar supporting civilization and, in fact, human being.